Hi guys, this is Carla, and this time I'm here with a review for episode 12 of season 2 of Scorpion. This episode is titled Damn Breakthrough, and I have to say, I really love this episode. I mean, at the beginning, it started off weird with the whole, Walter talking to himself thing, which I didn't really buy. I mean, I buy that they needed a way for them to know that there was something wrong with him. I just don't think. I think him kind of zoning out would have been just as effective. We didn't necessarily have to hear him speaking to himself because I don't think he would do that necessarily unless he was, I don't know, having some kind of mental breakdown or something. But I mean, it started off shaky with that, but then when they got to the dam, it actually got interesting. I think they were maybe pushing the Christmas angle a little too much, although I did like the Christmas lights thing. I don't really buy that everybody actually turned off their lights, but I'll give them a pass on this one because it's Scorpion after all, so they do a lot of things that I don't believe. But I thought maybe, with the whole bah humbug thing at the beginning with Toby, and I'm like, yeah, all those quips he did about not believing in Christmas miracles, they were pushing it a bit too hard. I mean, I think this episode could have been any other episode. It didn't actually have to be a Christmas episode. It just happened to be around Christmas, so that's what they did. But it's okay. I mean, I don't mind terribly. I thought I would roll my eyes every once in a while, but I do that a lot in this show, so I don't mind. But once they got to the dam, it actually got really freaking interesting. Sure, again, there are things that I think they're a big stretch, like, they're hanging Cave off of the top of the dam and they just don't have any wire, like metal wire around to actually use it. No, they're using rope, like regular rope, the type that breaks. That was really kind of not genius of a genius team. But I like, I mean, it's kind of so out there for him to actually like use the little spritzer to actually make himself handholds and footholds, but that was funny. It made me laugh. I like that they sort of play to everybody's strengths. I think that's one of the best things about this show when they pull it off, because sometimes they just have people around for no reason. Like Paige would be there doing absolutely nothing, or Toby would be there just making funny quips and not actually contributing anything. But I like the way they actually used each other's play to each other's strengths in this, because I mean, you had Walter who was kind of planning everything. You had Abby who was building things they needed to fix it. You had Sylvester who was doing the mathematical calculations, because this thing was all physics, right? So it made sense that Sylvester would be doing the math. Then you have Cabe, who's the only one who in this team was actually athletic enough to actually hang off the top of the dam. That was funny and good. And then you have Toby, who's a doctor. So yes, colonoscopies, sure. I'll buy it. He's the first one to think about it, because the other ones don't. I mean, you don't have any plumbers in the team, so doctor was the closest thing you had. I like that. It made me laugh, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I can buy it. And then you have Paige actually, helping write the message that needed to be written. So I thought that was good. She actually did something, and they don't just have her sideline. And dams are a pretty big deal. And I know in the U.S. they're like everywhere. Over here where I live, it's actually kind of a point of contention, because people are so used to just having rivers flow, and anything that disrupts the flow of the river is kind of a big deal. But dams are familiar enough that everybody can kind of imagine what would happen if they rupture. It's not one of those things, it's like, oh, nuclear fissure in the reactor, and you have to save people from something abstract as radiation. No, dams are a pretty known property in a way, and pretty scary if they actually fail, because it can happen in a second and you cannot stop nature, which was interesting because the way they fixed it is like, no, we're not only going to stop the river, we're going to reverse it. It was like, oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have put it in those words. You're not actually reversing the flow of the river, you're just pushing water up. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was smart, the whole change your nature thing. And it did apply kind of to Walter, because his nature is just to be, to not have feelings, and to be logical, and to not let himself be dictated by what he feels or what he says he doesn't feel. So I thought it was a good thing, a good theme for an episode that actually dealt with him kind of embracing his feelings about the death of his sister. I'm sorry, my throat is really raspy right now, so I'm probably sounding like I don't even know what I sound like, but I'm sorry if it's really raspy. Just overall, I really liked the episode, and even Ralph got a chance to shine. It's like, I thought at the beginning that they would only have him there just for the snow thing, but no, he actually did participate, which is interesting because they don't have to put him in a position of danger for him to be useful. So that's good. And just the way everything wrapped up was, I thought, my favorite part of the episode. I mean, not only are Happy and Toby back together, which I love, as you know, I'm a shipper, I love them, the fact that they got back together, but also the scene with Walter, man, that was so powerful. I mean, as soon as the message came through that he'd won the prize, the grant, I was like, damn, it's too late. I mean, he's going to feel really bad that he actually won when he couldn't use it to save his sister anymore. So I understand, like, as soon as the phone call came through, I was like, oh, this is not good. But also I like that they brought back Ferret Bueller. I love that thing, and I love the Bueller joke. I'm so sorry. I mean, it was the stupidest joke with Toby going, Bueller? And I'm like, I loved it. I laughed so hard. But it's good because, again, Walter just doesn't want to lose people anymore, and losing his sister, who was, pretty much the most important person in his life, was a pretty huge deal, and he hadn't grieved for her because he thought grieving was useless, but now it just caught up to him, so that was good. I'm not entirely sure that I approve of him just shooting the rocket and not using I don't even know how much money it was to actually put it to research on his sister. I mean, he could have researched on his sister's disease. I mean, he could have used it to do so much good, and it kind of tugs at me, but at the same time, I thought it was a really beautiful gesture on his part to actually use the rocket to spread his sister's ashes, and being the huge space nerd that I am, I love that. I wish I could just go to the beach and shoot a rocket and have it actually work. I mean, yeah, I'm an engineer, but not that kind of engineer. I'm just an enthusiast about space program. But it made me smile. It made me really smile that it brought Walter and Sylvester closer. They're brothers. They really are. I mean, they were even before, but now this is just kind of makes it, official in a way. And I just, that scene, man, I sometimes I do have problems with Gabe Ailey's acting. Sometimes, like, some scenes I would be like, maybe a little too emotional here, a little not emotional enough here. But that scene was fantastic. Kudos to him, because that just goes to show that he really can act. He's really great, and just the way he broke down, it wasn't out of character at all. It was just that one moment where Walter just couldn't anymore, because as much as he keeps saying that he doesn't have feelings, he does have feelings. He just logically pushes them back because he thinks they're not they don't contribute to anything in his life. In a way, it's like, no, everything can be solved with logic, so I don't need feelings at all. But you're a human being, and eventually you're gonna feel something. Like, yeah, there are people who just go a long time without feeling anything, either because they're depressed or they have mental illness or they just have a really low emotional IQ. But at the same emotional quotient, EQ. But eventually you're gonna feel something, even if it's loneliness, even if it's sadness. And we know that Walter did love his sister. He loved her. That's a feeling that he had. And it was bound to catch up with him. And the way Elias Gable played it was fantastic. I mean, just the way he broke down. And of course, soon enough he was like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be doing this, but hey, his friends understand. And I thought that was really beautiful and a good way to kind of end the show for the year. So yeah, overall I really like this episode. I think it's one of the best written episodes of Scorpion that I've watched so far, and it's really lovely, all the teamwork. And even though the Christmas theme was kind of pushed a little bit too hard, I don't necessarily mind because I think it was a lovely episode. So yeah. That's about it from me, and as usual, if you guys want to see more Scorpion reviews, then be sure to visit our website at thegeekypub.com. We don't only have Scorpion, we also have other TV shows, books, movies. We have a ton of stuff in there, so be sure to visit and check it out. And as usual, if you guys want to be notified as soon as we upload a new review, then you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because that's where the reviews go up first. Usually, even before they hit the website, they're going to be on YouTube. So if you subscribe, you're going to be notified ASAP when we upload anything new. So you really want to do that. Hint, hint. And that's it for the moment, and I will see you guys in my next review. Bye.